What's going on, everybody? This is Blockchain Bullz, and today I just want to have a conversation with you guys about the current market conditions. Obviously, it's been a while since I've made a video. I've been out of the country traveling with Island Hopper TV, but I know that when the market goes south like this, a lot of people just want to have some insight into the market, and I'm just one person out of many talking heads. And so I'm just going to share some of my thoughts, and also you guys can do the same. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in and hitting the like button as we're getting this video out there. So right now we've seen the Bitcoin price obviously selling off. This is not the first time we've seen this. In fact, I don't even think this is as bad as what we saw in March 2020 when Bitcoin went to around 3,500. I think at that time ETH went to around like 250. Cardano went to 4 cents. So I don't think we're quite at that level, but Bitcoin sitting at 2,900, Ethereum sitting at 2,100. The one that did get hit the hardest was Terra Luna. And, you know, I've never actually bought any Terra Luna. Some people would say, hey, that was the dumbest thing you ever did, was not buy Terra Luna, because it did have a meteoric rise. But also, Terra Luna also has had a epic collapse. I mean, we watched Terra Luna on as early as April 3rd, trading at 116, currently sitting at 109. That's like more than a 100x collapse. Okay, so do I still hold any Terra Luna? No. But am I opposed to it? Also no, because if you look at my Twitter, what I recently tweeted out here, actually today, I said, I mean, should I put a couple $100 on Luna at below $1? So if it goes below $1, thanks to the 4 people who hit the likes, by the way. Should I put in $1, you know, or buy when it goes below $1? Let's just say I put in a couple hundred, okay? Maybe I put in like, I don't know, 200 or 300 below $1, and then it recovers back to its previous levels. That could be possible. So that was something that I was considering, like a casino play. It's like something, it's gambling basically at that point. I mean, the problem is that the likelihood that Luna recovers as an algorithmic stablecoin, will anyone ever be able to trust it again after a sell-off like that? Like, most people can handle 50% of a sell-off in a day, but what's happened to Luna was absolutely monumental. And you see these guys over here that are trending, BlackRock, those are the guys you probably want to look at for market manipulation. Now, why would they do something like that? Well, probably because they want to be in control of everything that's going on. BlackRock, Larry Fink, Bill Gates, best friends. Bill Gates, he doesn't like Bitcoin. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to give any more opinions on that. But if Larry Fink and Bill Gates are friends, and Bill Gates has gone on record many times saying he doesn't like Bitcoin, and then you add in the fact that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are very friendly, and Warren Buffett doesn't like it, what would stop a company like BlackRock from doing what they're basically doing? You know, we've heard the rumors that are out there on the internet. BlackRock trader right here, you can see right on Bloomberg, BlackRock's $100 million London trader turns bearish amid record losses. So they're basically signaling a bear signal, which the thing about a big company like that, or a big institution like them, BlackRock Strategic Equity Fund, you can't really trust anything they say, because they do not have your best interest in mind. There is no chance that these people care about you. And this is the thing that we've learned about the government. A lot of people are out there trying to get the government involved in cryptocurrency and stuff, and they're usually the newbies. These are people who don't fully understand how the government works. They think the government actually cares about them. But what we've realized over time is the government mostly cares about their donors, the people who support them, that have power. And it's not you and me, because you and I do not have any financial power. So when you guys are begging and pleading for the government to step in and help you and do all this stuff for you, it's essentially the wolf in sheep's clothing. So, you know, yes, we need a government, sure, but do we need big government? No. And if we quote Ronald Reagan, no matter how you feel about him, but he was a president who did say that the only thing you really have to fear is a big government. You know, he said that, you know, big government is the problem. So that's something to keep in mind when you're out there begging, because I don't know how many of you guys in the comments are out there actually asking for more government stimulus or more government programs or more government aid. But when you're doing that, It's not free because nothing in life is free. It's the same kind of concept of you sending your crypto to someone else, assuming that they're going to send you more crypto. It's like when someone pretends like they're Elon Musk in the comments and they say, if you send me 1 Ethereum, I'll send you 3 Ethereum because I love you. That's the same kind of thing the government does. I mean, you just have to wrap your mind around that because they're not looking out for you. So when you're out there begging and pleading that they're coming to your aid, keep that in mind. It's not, like I said, I'm not like anti-government or anything. I'm not trying to preach anything like that. All I'm saying is be careful asking for a big government to step in because big bureaucracy, bunches of red tape, they'll regulate you. And if they do regulate you, this stuff can be bad. And we're talking about what's happening with Coinbase also. They're also impacted by the big wigs that are out there manipulating the market because straight up Coinbase is still the best exchange in the world. But there is a major hit by big financial institutions who are clearly trying to dethrone Coinbase. But if the institutions win and bankrupt Coinbase, what happens to all the locked ETH too? So you might be able to move your Bitcoin or your other coins off of Coinbase, but what's going to happen to all that locked ETH too if they actually have to file for bankruptcy? So if we go talk about that here on Market Watch, that Coinbase CEO says company has no risk of bankruptcy, but we only take words at face value because sometimes actions speak louder than words. He did post this very long thread. We're talking about Brian Armstrong here. Thanks to the 8 people who hit the likes. I see you guys in the comments. Mick Levan, David Muhammad, what's going on? And yeah, if you guys are, you guys could say what you guys are thinking about buying also, and I'll try to review it. But yeah, Terra Luna, I'm not going to lie. If it goes below a dollar, I would consider putting a couple $100s into it just as just in the hope that it might rebound 50x, 100x at some point. I don't know. But I also realize it could go to zero. Like the odds of that going to zero, it's a 50-50. It could either go to zero and just completely get washed, which I would say it's actually more 75-25. It's probably likely going to recover to some point, because rarely will it ever go to zero. But I mean, we know about like projects like Safe Moon, but I'm not going to say that Safe Moon and Terra Luna were projects that are on the same level, but some projects just never rebound. We've seen this quite a few times, but it rarely happens. Another one that comes to mind is Substratum. For those of you who've been in the market for a while, Caesar says, I thought you were off to paradise. Well, yeah, I've been traveling around, but we're all in paradise, right? We're all cruising around wherever we want to go. I mean, but anyway, that's the big story there is, if you've got funds on Coinbase, pay attention because they're talking about, Brian Armstrong says it's not going to happen, but some people are saying that it could happen, especially in a deep bear market. Like I said, this kind of reminds me of March 2020. But let's just take a look at the price March 2020 when that happened. If you take a look right here, let's see, March 2020 was right about there. We went down to, see, it doesn't show here. It says 6,100, but it actually went a lot lower than that. Let me see if I can dial in this chart here to get you an actual more realistic. Yeah, see, it went down to, it's saying 5, but I remember it went much lower than that. 49. Let's see here. Well, maybe that was the low, was just below 5,000. I seem to remember Bitcoin going a little bit lower than 5. It happened around 3/11/2020. So Bitcoin was around 5,000. Even if you look at still the price right now, we're still like 5-6x, So, but that was a massive sell-off day. But what did we do right after that? I mean, we recovered. So at some point, we're going to body slam, hit bottom. What people are thinking is possible is that once we hit bottom, we run sideways for a while. But I don't think that these market conditions are the same because everyone's all waiting on this halving event that's supposed to take place in like May of 2024, I think. When is the next halving? Is it May 2024 or is it 2023? I think it's, yeah. Anyways, the halving event is when they say the bull market will come back around because it's a 4-year cycle. I don't know if I'm going to buy into that though, because I think it's possible that we could recover a lot quicker, and especially with all this inflation, all these alternative assets that are available. Everyone says, "Oh well, the investors are just putting their money into the housing market. That's why there's a big housing market inflation, and they keep buying these tangible assets like real estate." And I'm like, that's weird, because gold and Bitcoin both are like, gold hasn't sold off like Bitcoin or crypto, but it hasn't moved up, even though we've had inflation and these sell-offs. So when these people, these institutions in particular, who sell the top, because remember, when the market cascades down, that's because someone sold the top. Some big players, it's usually more than one big institution who sold the top. They got money on the sidelines waiting to come in and buy up everything cheap that they want to prop up, because most of crypto has been manipulated. I mean, this whole market's been manipulated for a long time. Someone says, "You're back. My man is a legend. Take notes, young cats. This guy is an OG on crypto influencers." Thanks, man. Yeah. Anyway, but that's a nice comment. But I would say that the market in general, we're overheated. The housing market's overheated. I mean, the rent here in Phoenix, where I live, was just outrageous. I mean, we're looking at California prices to live in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's like, no, that's not worth $2,500 a month to live in Phoenix in a 2-bedroom apartment. Heck no. That's just it. And like, everything has doubled in price. If you look at gas has doubled in price. My rent has doubled in price. I'm actually buying now, and I have no choice to buy, because it's, even with higher interest rates and higher market prices, because it just doesn't make sense to rent, because I'm throwing away money. I'm throwing away money by renting. It's like, if I travel and I'm paying if I travel for 2 months and I'm paying $2,500 a month, that's $5,000 going to some rent that I'm not, at least pay equity into it, something that I have equity with. It's ridiculous how expensive things have gotten. But let me ask this, have your salaries doubled? So cost of living has doubled, really, seriously. It's not just gone up 10% like Biden likes to say. It's gone up like double. If you look at gas, it's doubled. If you look at your rent, it's doubled. If you look at the price of chicken, it's doubled. I mean, the only thing that hasn't doubled probably is those 99-cent menus at like McDonald's and, Arizona green tea. They're still 99 cents, even though there's inflation, which is amazing. But for the most part, a lot of things have doubled in price. And it's crazy. My car price hasn't doubled, but it would be nice if it did. Dimitri says, "Happy to see you back, mate. Cheers from Liverpool, UK." Hey, man, I would like to go out there. Outer Range says, "Wages are not keeping up." Yeah, wages are not keeping up. Frederico says, "How is Essentia?" When it comes to these low cap coins, like right now, I mean, especially when they drain out like that, like I've got my low cap coins in there. I don't even look at that wallet. Like that's a gambling wallet. And in terms of Essentia, I kind of lost hope in those guys, because they talked a big game, and then I went in there and I was looking at what they were doing, and I'm like, what are you guys even doing? Like, this is the thing with those low cappers. You have to trust the team. It's like, remember we always talked about, it's the venture capitalist strategy. You find 100 startups, and all you need is like 1 or 2 to really pan out and become the next Facebook, Google, or Amazon. And you put $100 into or whatever you're investing. But most venture capitalists, they take $100 million and they put they seed fund 100 projects with $1 million, and they're just basically looking for the next big thing. But with these low cappers like Essentia, I mean, you're going to get a lot of fluff in there, and you have to accept that when you get into low caps. I mean, if you can bat 50%, where 50% of the low cappers you get in actually go up, you're not even going to worry about the other half that do. And it's a pain in the butt, the ones that do not succeed. But essentially, I would say probably ended up on the wrong side of the charts. There was a few that, we saw a few that went up. We had OVR go up. Essentia even went up at one point. But at this point in time, when the market's draining, you want everything to be in Bitcoin or Ethereum right now, because those are the only things that are going to hold value, because everything else is going to get beat down. Even Polkadot is getting beat down. And that tells you another thing. If you're going to ride these coins to the top, Polkadot went to $60. If you're going to ride them to the top, learn the next time. Maybe it's better to sell and pay your capital gains, because a lot of people, they don't want to sell because they don't want to take capital gains. But when you ride the roller coaster up and down, it's like, that's your choice. If it goes up, you know, you don't have to sell the top all the time. You can be like, hey, you know, I bought into Polkadot at $5. It's at 45. That's a pretty good return. I'll take my profits. Or it's at 60. I'll take my profits. But if you choose to sell because you go long with it, you know, you gotta go through these cycles. So sometimes people are scared to sell because they don't want to incur a capital gains hit. But that 20% capital gains or 28%, I mean, even sometimes I think there's like a minimum threshold. So like, even if you don't make like, I don't know what the number is exactly, but there's some minimum capital gains that you don't even have to pay capital gains if you, I think, don't quote me, I'm not a tax provider, but people are scared to take profits because of that. And I'm like, dude, take your 20% instead of riding it down more than 20%. I mean, you know, so that's the way I look at it. Tribesman says, welcome back. I guess I could come back. I am back in town. I mean, if I get enough interest on this channel, if you guys crush up the likes out there, help get this video out to a larger audience, I might keep doing more videos. I have no problem doing videos. If you guys watch me on Island Hopper, or if you watch me on my new channel, I have a new channel, VertCam. I don't know if you guys are interested in VertCam, but I basically go around to a bunch of airports and show you what it looks like in the airports. It's not really that hard. I mean, it's train stations, airports, and cruise ships. But there is a market for it. I just don't know if you guys are into it. But you know, that's what I do, is make these videos. I also manage accounts for clients, not related to crypto. But I can make more videos for crypto if you guys wanted me to. I mean, sometimes people just want to hear like what do they call them? The moon boys. They like the moon boys. I can be a moon boy too, but you know, I think all of us become moon boys when the market's frothy. When the market's frothy, oh man. When the market goes south on a day like this, like, you're going to hear from me on both possibly. You'll hear from me on a day when the market's way down. You might hear from me on a day when the market's way up. But today I felt compelled to come on here and have a conversation because of everything we're seeing. You know, it's tough times out there. I mean, even if you look at Doge is at 8 cents. Like, if Doge goes below a penny, I'd probably stack up. I mean, Doge at 8 cents, this is back to, you know, early spring 2021 levels, you know. And why would I buy Doge? Well, because Elon, it's gonna pump at some point. I mean, you know, you gotta look at it like that. Like Cardano, when do I start getting excited about Cardano? I mean, if I'm long Cardano, great price right here. If I'm like, you know, Cardano, I don't know about Charles. I don't know if he's liked, because Charles is probably the most hated project developer out there. Like, VCs hate Charles, right? Venture capitalists, they don't like Charles because Charles is cocky. He's like, he pokes the bear all the time. So he might have great tech and he might be onto something. He might be a brilliant mathematician, good coder, all that stuff. But he pokes the bear too much to really get any love. Same with XRP. The thing with XRP, people like fall in love with XRP. They didn't sell when the SEC thing happened, and they held on to it, and they didn't get rewarded for that at all. There was like no reward for people who held XRP. So like this whole love affair of like holding XRP till the cows come, you know, till the wheels fall off and all that. I don't do any of that, man. I would say Bitcoin is where you need to be when the market goes south. And then you can jump back into these altcoins when the time is right. But I am keeping an eye on the altcoins and the ones, you know, I've got my handful of coins that I keep an eye on. Sure, I'm paying attention to some of the low cap gems that like OVR as it sells off, but it needs to go way down for me to like jump back into OVR or something like that. Because yes, the metaverse stuff, Engine, you know, the NFT projects, they will have their day again, more than likely. But I'm not in a hurry to jump into those projects right now. I'm just keeping an eye on them, and I'm analyzing what's going to happen as it goes down. Thanks to the 17 people who hit the likes. But Polkadot, I like Polkadot below 5. I like Polkadot or Cardano below 20. I mean, this is where I'm at with current market conditions. Because I already have my core positions, I'm not like too obsessed because most of my stuff already went into Bitcoin, holding ETH and Bitcoin. That's it. But I do still hold some Polkadot. But in order for me to add more like cash liquidity into Polkadot, I'm really in love with Polkadot around $5 range. I'm really in love with Cardano below 25, 20 cents. Some other coins that I would consider, Polygon. Polygon is something that I haven't added, and I've been waiting to add Polygon, but that's a project that's worth taking a look at. CRO is still reasonably priced, so I don't know if I'm a big fan of buying that at that price yet, but it's a good price. Algorand, they changed their whole staking policy, which changed my opinion about them. So we'll see. Did you hear about Chia Network? Bram Cohen behind it. He wants to flip the projects to stocks. Oh, he wants to take the whole crypto market to Wall Street. Do I like ICP? ICP, no. ICP was one of those projects like Terra Luna that was that came in with a big hype. They had a big marketing pitch, man. I think Anderson Horowitz was on that, or like, you know, you could see all the tags that they had here. I think it was Anderson Horowitz, but they had a bunch. They had a bunch of stuff that was coming out with that. And no. I mean, look at all these portfolios that are big on that. But ICP, these guys, their pitch, man, I could tell he was full of riffraff. Look how bad they sold off. They were once $364. Now, I guess you could say $7.56. These guys are like an EOS. They're like an remember EOS? These guys, that's what they kind of remind me of. Although EOS never did what ICP did, although they're the same market valuation now. So ICP never had any intention of building anything, in my opinion. They were just a pump coin, and we didn't know that, but that's what they've proven to be. I mean, if I had a crystal ball, I could say, oh man, I could tell. But I did sense that the guy, the pitch man, the guy leading it, he just talked the lingo. Like, the guy knew how to regurgitate the lingo, but he never really struck me as like a Vitalik or a Charles Hoskinson, someone who I knew was going to develop and build. He just basically took what was existing, put his name on it, and then that was it. But he wasn't like a builder of any sort of ingenuity or creativity. That was what I basically thought about that guy. But I do hold some ICP because I wasn't sure at the time, and I still hold it. Unfortunately, it's been nothing but beat up. There's been some crypto YouTubers who tried to give their opinion on it, and I listened to them. You know, I did. I'll follow some of the influencers on their opinions just to see. You know, I want to get a feel for who knows what, and in this case, Internet Computer. You know who I was following? AMTV, that guy from AMTV, Christopher Green. Because, you know, he was so convinced, and I was like, all right, Christopher, I'll put a couple hundred into it. It's a couple $100. Nah, that Christopher Green's been wrong on XRP, he's been wrong on Internet Computer. Like, this is hard wrong. Not just like little mistakes here and there where he gets a couple right. I think he was like batting like 0%. Like, if he was a third baseman and he was playing in the big leagues, I think his batting average would be 0%. I don't think he's gotten anyone right. He was even telling us to sell. I mean, I try not to ever bash, but he even, like, right before Bitcoin pumped to like 60K, he was saying, sell your Bitcoin. So, I mean, he's like literally 0%. But he sells that course, Bitcoin Rich. So, I don't know. I mean, I try to like the guy, and I try to get behind some of his stuff, like Internet Computer, but no dice. Bram Cohen is the inventor of BitTorrent. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Which one are you trying to get me to do? The thing with Bram Cohen, I mean, is he related to Stephen Cohen? You know, the guy who basically runs one of the largest hedge funds, and he owns the Mets. And he's got a beef with, what's his name? Portnoy. Portnoy tweeted out a list of people that he hates, and Steve Cohen was, I think his name, Steve Cohen. But Bram Cohen, I mean, if we look at BitTorrent, what has BitTorrent ever been? I mean, they aligned with Tron, didn't they? I mean, we could look at Chia Network. Is it this one right here? I mean, it might be a good buy. If this is it, and Bram Cohen's behind this project right here, XCH, if that's the case, it might be a good buy if you're looking to go high speculation. I mean, this might be a 50-50. It's a coin flip. This is a coin flip. Chia Network. Okay, but if I type in Chia Network, Still, I mean, this is the only thing that's coming up. Am I on the right thing? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. My food is here, so I'm going to turn this off, and I'll see you guys on the next one. If you guys want me to keep going and do more videos, just drop comments and let me know.